So you two guys are in charge. Why are you nervous?
Just hoping nothing goes horribly wrong here.
It's like dating a crazy girl.
You ever started a carbureted car?
Nope.
So you will need to give it a few squirts initially to get it going. When we go to start this, you're the boss. We're not doing anything intelligent out here. What's up, people? We're here with Gina's Garage today in the 1988 Riggins chassis IMSA GTO Corvette. So what we're going to do today is start it up. The Camerons, with a K and Cameron with a C, togetherly known as Twin Cam, have gotten it all ready to start and pretty darn close for testing next week. So we need to start it up, heat cycle it, kind of get them going on it. Neither one of them have been in the cockpit today and started up, and that's why they're going to do everything today, and I'm going to be pretty much hands off. So how do you feel about that?
That sounds like a good time. Should
Does
be
it?
exciting. Yeah,
Are you nervous?
Slight nervousness. Excited and nervous, I would say.
Why are you nervous?
Just hoping nothing goes horribly wrong here.
Yeah, right. So how are we gonna make it not go horribly wrong?
How are we gonna make it not go horribly wrong?
Yeah.
Well, when you start it up, we're gonna be inspecting all the belts, making sure nothing's leaking.
Right.
One-hand cam is going to be on the back, making sure nothing's leaking out of the dry sub tank.
Right. Yep.
Anything back there.
Make sure nothing catches fire.
And making sure nothing catches fire.
Fire guy.
Here, come on. I want to show you guys a couple of things. The reason we're making a bigger deal of this for everybody, I mean, out there watching that are in sports cars, street cars, etc. This is by no means a production-based car. There is nothing whatsoever about this car that you would ever even consider talking about a warranty. It's a high-strung, over-the-top racing machine experiment that's basically designed to make the most amount of horsepower and go as fast as possible, like a big lead hammer from hell, or blow up. It's like right on the ragged edge. It's got like 14+1 compression on a gasoline engine. It has to run minimum of 114 octane leaded fuel, so you can't screw it up on the starter and bucket and bust the starter or something. So that's a thing, right? Also, all these belts drive the power steering, the oil pump down here for the dry sump, the water pump, and they've done a bunch of work on that. So the belts need to be aligned so they don't walk to the side and collide. That could be a disaster. Also, you guys worked on the oil sump tank.
Yep.
It was leaking.
Yep, we replaced the
Do you want to come
O-ring.
look?
We replaced the O-ring seal around it. It's a two-piece sump and it's held together by a clamp that is down here. It's probably hard to see it.
And that's where the big O-ring is holding the two halves together.
It's right there or there, depending on the angle that you can see it. But we undid that. We looked at it. It was really smushed.
Yeah,
So
it was
the-
leaking out of there?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so that's not good. But long story short, guys, in a dry sump racing engine, the oil is not stored in the oil pan. It's stored in this tank in the back, this big swirl tank. And the pump with all its different stages, there's actually 4 different oil pumps on this thing, sucks all of the oil and air out of the motor, puts it in that tank, and then the other pump that's engaged in the whole series of the dry sump pump there that gets driven, then brings the oil out of this through the filters and cooler and heat exchanger, then into the motor pressurizer. So I bring that up because a car like this is not meant to drive on the street. It's not meant to do anything but one purpose, be really fast on a road racing track. It's geared very tall. It's a 4-speed with dog box, no synchro mesh, and it's nasty and it's violent. So
That's exactly how we like it.
Nasty and violent?
Yeah.
Okay, so which one of you guys is going to be the person reading the gauges and trying not to blow it up? And working the throttle and the starter and everything.
Fit in there. You can do it. If you,
yeah,
Did I mildly intimidate you guys now?
Not really.
No?
I really want to get on that.
All right, get in there. You wore the wrong shoes there, Ernie.
Also watch
Look at his shoes. What is this?
All right.
These are the boots.
How's he supposed to fit in a race car?
These are the most
Don't get him jammed on the throttle and blow the motor.
Oh, I won't.
Yeah, you're pro.
Don't blow the tranny either.
Cam, you're pro.
Yeah?
It'll pop up.
It's added like 4 inches to the top of your head.
He'll figure it out.
I trust you.
Don't help him.
You're wearing the right shirt.
It's funny
for it.
on camera if he messes up. Not the car, but yourself.
He's got the right shirt on to be in there.
People heal, cars don't, okay? We have to fix those.
How I'm aware.
compared to Casey's?
What?
Oh, it's gotten better, actually.
That's good.
Okay, so long story short, you two Camerons are the guys that are looking after, you're the head of racing, primarily what's going on here. Yeah. So you two guys are in charge. So you're basically like the outside crew chief with all these jamokes. Okay, and you're not as smart as you think you are in there. You just have to not blow it up, read the gauges, let everybody know that things are okay on the few basics, and then just be eyeballing everybody. You maintain what you do. Don't worry about what they do. Somebody out here can give you the motion to shut it off or everything is good. And that's basically it. Okay? So, do you want me to go over him what gauges and stuff to look after, what his prime directive is today? And then we'll go over what we're doing?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right, so come on in here. If you want to come over here, Cameron, so you can see the gauges, we'll talk there. Come on, Cameron, so you know too. When you're racing, you can tell people. All right, so do you fit in this thing?
Yeah,
okay, well. So you got the gas pedal there.
Yep.
It's a 4-barrel Holley double pumper. It just happens to be big. So you will need to give it a few squirts initially to get it going, okay?
Okay.
You don't want to rev the bejesus out of it and hold it, okay? And if something crazy happens and the throttle were to get stuck or something, you bang the switches down, ignition.
Okay.
You can just hit them all down. But the ignition one's the one that kills the engine. If for some crazy reason that didn't kill it, you'd have to lean over there real quick and kill the battery master. You see the silver switch over there? Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, kind of, so to speak. Okay. The other thing about this is it's got big, nasty valve springs and a camshaft. And enough clearance there. So you basically want it to be 15 to 1700 RPM at the least. That's idle. If you let off, it'll go lower and potentially die. So you actually have to keep it at a reasonable idle. The reason you want it higher is so the valve springs and the lifters and everything don't beat the living crap out of themselves. Yeah. It's actually nastier at them at slower speeds because they're, you know what I'm saying? So you want it up a little bit so they can start to smooth out and be chill. The most important thing for you to look after, there's two of them. One, fuel pressure. We're gonna test that to make sure there's no leaks in fuel. If there was a fuel pressure leak, you got it right here, we'll talk about it in a second.
Yep.
We check that. If there was a fuel leak, obviously that could end up in a fire real quick and be a hazard to both the car and the people. So that's the first thing. The second thing is not blowing up the motor, which has everything to do with the oil pressure. We could start this car up for a while with no coolant in it, but we can't start up for a while with no oil pressure. Do you know what I'm saying? So then there's obviously coolant in it, but the oil pressure has to come up reasonably quickly. And with it being cold, it'll probably come up to, it'll be over 75, it'll be pushing 100, okay? And you're not gonna rev it or do anything like that. If you blow it up to 2 grand, that's okay, but you need to keep between 1500 and 2 grand, like around 1500, 1700 RPMs. As it gets a little tiny bit of temperature in it, you can like gently blip it, like just a little bit, because that changes the harmonics in the car a little bit. Yeah. And if there's valves that are not spinning properly, that might get them to spin. Does that make sense? So you don't necessarily want a constant rate, but you don't have to freak out. The biggest thing is just having it like an idle. Does that make sense? Yeah. So when we go to start this, you're the boss. We're not doing anything intelligent out here. Do you know what I'm saying? You got to figure out the throttle, the amount to do it or not do it. And that's the starter button there, right there, obviously. Okay. You see what I'm saying? Yep. This is the low oil pressure warning light, which should come on when we first do it. But it's has everything to do with the oil pressure. Gotcha. That's not our job, that's your job. I will try not to be obsessive compulsive and ask. I will assume that you understand the importance of the fuel pressure gauge than the oil. Yeah. Okay, so let's go through this initially. Turn, and you're paying attention, Cam? Yes. You want to see, you know what's going on, but you want to see? Okay. Turn on the battery master. The other thing is, it needs to be in neutral since you don't have your foot on the clutch or anything like that. If you push down, that'll let you know if you can go to reverse, and that'll give you full sweep left to right. Okay. Okay, that's neutral. Okay, great. We're just gonna leave it neutral. You don't have to be a freak about it, okay? Let's do the first one. Go ahead and turn the ignition on. That also turns on the gauges, okay? So the first thing, both of those are fuel pumps. There's a left and a right. Yep. One or both. Let's just start with one of them, your choice. Watch the fuel pressure. It's coming up, it's coming up, it's coming up, it's coming up. And it'll hold a little bit higher than what, okay, now turn it off, let's watch it. It may come down a little bit, but it should hold right there. If it holds right there, then that way you know all your check valves are holding it really well as the needles and stuff in the carburetor. It'll come down a tiny bit, but it shouldn't do much. Now you turn on the right one, right? Yeah. Hit the left one now. Okay, now you know it works, turn it off. Okay, that's all fine and dandy. Since there's pressure and it's holding, you know that both float bowls in the carburetor are full. Okay. The thing that says tranny cooler, you'll want to turn on when we start it. That'll start circulating oil, you know this, from the bottom of the transmission, through the cooler, to the top, to oil like 4th gear, and the up there, okay? So, it's a starter button to start it. What you can't, or at least really, really don't want to do, you know how like if somebody will start a car and then like let off, but then like go right back on? Yeah. And you can make it buck and do something horrible? Don't do that. Okay. This is not a car you sit and turn over for long, long periods of time because it's got a ton of compression and it can buck. You're either on or you're off. There's nothing like in between about it. Does that make sense? Yeah. In terms of the starter, you just got to be decisive and do it. Okay, so the only thing that matters to you, we're good on fuel. You guys that you're around, look around the fuel system, make sure there's no leaks. Maybe come over here too by the carb. And
if one of you guys wants to take my light, I'm not gonna be.
sure. You don't need to run it with both fuel pumps on, you can, but just keep your eye on the fuel pressure. When it starts to heat soak, the fuel pressure will come down a little bit, that's okay. It's not a leak, it just does that.
Good.
The volts won't really go up until it's over like 2,500 RPM, which we won't get to after it starts warming up. You'll first see the water temperature coming up a little bit, and it's got a heat exchanger. So as the water temperature heats up, that'll heat up the oil quicker, but don't worry about that too much. You know what I'm saying? All right, and if for some reason it revs up or does something crazy, just kill it. So the biggest thing you need to do is just monitor this and make sure everything's good. If you see something you don't like, kill it.
Okay.
Okay, there's nothing to win here. There's no being a hero. It's just being safe and going through it. And if you guys see anything you don't like big leaks, fuel leaks, kill it. Get right in his face and kill it. You know what I'm saying? Does that sound smart? Okay, so he's your most important one out here.
Yep.
So Cam, you need to be kind of in this area, making sure the belts are all right and making eye contact with him. And you guys can communicate with thumbs ups and stuff because it's gonna be really loud. Okay, so, you ever started a carbureted car?
Nope.
You haven't?
Nope.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever started a carbureted car?
It's been a long time, but yeah, once before.
Okay. Give it 3 full pumps to the accelerator. Okay, you sure it's in neutral?
Yep.
Do you know what you gotta do to start it?
The fuel pump's on.
Just
the
turn
ignition's
on. Yeah, you got the ignition on. Hit a fuel pump. Okay. You want to start it? Just hold it at 1500, 1700 and kill it if something goofy happens.
Alright. Josh, you're in the blast off. I see that.
And don't be afraid to just start it. You'll be alright. When it fires like that, you can kind of flip the throttle just a little bit to get her popping. The power steering pump clicks a little. Did you hear that?
I was hearing that clicking. I figured that's what you were
Probably
inspecting.
still
There. It didn't do that.
cavitating. Is it cavitating in the pump? Under pressure?
What's weird is when you turn it left, it does it like the whole time.
And then
But when you
right.
like when you get just past center, it starts to do it. When you turn it right, it doesn't start making the clicking noise until you get closer to the end.
Right. Closer to lock where it's
Yeah.
high pressure.
Yeah, but not necessarily at lock.
Word.
Let's bring the spare pump.
Yeah.
It is a little on the loose side. We should I would probably snug it up now while it's hot, partially because I'm sadistic.
Yeah.
Partially because when it's hot, that's when it's going to be full tight.
Yeah,
So
that makes sense. Because I think yeah, that has actually loosened up a bit since.
let's feel the oil pump. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. All right. So what else we got to do before we go testing, you guys?
You
gotta
gotta
order
adjust
fuel.
your straps.
Have we bled the brake lines?
Tires.
Not brake lines. Brake lines.
No, we have not touched the brakes at all.
No,
Have we done anything with the brakes on this year?
Nope.
not this year.
Oh.
Not with us.
Well, we might want to do that. And we need to go, if we go to Road America, we really have to have the brakes on point because Road America is brutal on brakes and drivetrains because it's nothing but like fast as you can go, stand on as hard as you can.
Yeah.
All right, how do you guys feel now?
Oh,
Feeling good?
Miles and miles better about it than before.
It's warmed up in here.
You guys seem
American.
way more confident this time around because we already got it mostly ready to go testing. But then the sump tank started leaking, and this started leaking. Everything started leaking.
Pretty
I
much
do
all the
see.
oil.
Hold up.
There's a big old puddle right there.
Why is there a big old puddle right there?
Oh, that is new. When did that from? That was because it wasn't leaking when we were running it.
It's leaking from there.
Yeah, it was. Just now?
Wait, that's from the heat side.
I don't think it's from there. It's way over there.
There's now all of a sudden a drip just came down from the filter.
Okay, so that's being a jerk.
Is
Yeah.
it leaking off the bottom of this line?
Because that line.
Where's
we didn't
that
notice
coming
it leaking.
from?
You feel it? I don't see anything up top.
That's really weird.
Yeah, where did that just come from? Because there was no leaks while we were running it. That's for sure. I was analyzing. That's what I was looking at most right here.
Maybe it's coming off of this one.
Possibly. That'd be coming from the pump.
Oh yeah, that's pretty leaky.
Oh,
That's the
that's coming right from the oil pump to the.
that's the scavenging one. That's weird. Why would it be leaking out of that?
Is it coming from the line?
Oh, hold up. There is a tiny bit of oil on top of the oil pump, but it doesn't seem to be coming from there, and that could have dripped from the power steering.
Yeah.
All right, anyway, we got to figure that out, you guys. But I hope you all enjoyed basically just doing a startup heat soak, checking over the race car before we get going. I know a bunch of people have asked about it, and I think it is the coolest hardcore American race car out there. How would you guys feel about it?
Oh yeah.
It's pretty. It's
I love
badass. Yeah.
Yeah?
This is badass.
Why do you love it?
Because it's just, you know, in your face and it'll tell you to piss off.
Okay, yeah. Well, actually, that's why I like it too, but I wasn't going to say that. Why do you like it?
More or less similar reasons. I like it. It's just badass. I mean, what about it? You got a big old Chevy 350 making big power.
It's like dating
high
a crazy
compression.
girl. That's it.
Yeah, it's like dating like a. Never mind.
You gotta
Never mind. Never mind.
You gotta
We won't
treat
go
her
there.
right, or else she'll go ape on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, this car, the thing that's interesting about it for a truth bomb is I got it because it'd be the coolest hardcore race, like full racing prepared built specific car for Genius Garage. And because it's such a rough and tumble, high horsepower, fast car, it draws a lot of people who are attracted to that.
Well, you like getting crazy anyway, so.
Getting neck deep in crazy pool?
Yeah.
I don't know, it just happens, man. Anyway, it makes for some great competition. We'll see you guys next time.
I hope you enjoyed today's video, and naturally that you will subscribe, but please click that bell so I can continue to bring you wholesome and entertaining automotive content. Also, a huge thanks to Avalon King ceramic coating. They're supporting this channel and making this all possible. But more importantly, I'm looking forward to using it on all of my vehicles, including my old dirt bike. Ceramic coating bonds directly to the surface of your paint, trim, and plastics to give a long-lasting shine that beats all waxes. It lasts for years and it's easy to maintain. I've got it on my Viper right now, and my car has never looked this good. So give them a try. Again, thanks for watching, and I look forward to see you next time.